back to one of your most busy and tiring days. You could be on your way home from school, from work, or maybe the gym, and all you can think about is curling up under a blanket with your favorite snack and your favorite Netflix show on. I'm going to take a guess and say you're about 3 seasons deep into Breaking Bad, and before you know it, you're done with season 4 in that same night. You look over at the time, it says 4 a.m. Your first class in the morning, 8 a.m. Excellent. It's exactly what you wanted, right? There are hundreds, even thousands of articles online talking about how college students do not get the required or recommended amount of sleep that they should be getting on average. Many distractions, consider them activities, some more productive than others, like social media, Netflix, basic television, or maybe staying up late to finish an assignment or study for a test that's due the next day. These can lead to college students prioritizing over getting the recommended or required amount of sleep that they should be getting. According to our in-class survey, the average amount of sleep that students in this class have been getting is between 4 to 5 hours every night, when the recommended amount of sleep that they should be getting is between 8 to 9 hours. And unfortunately, this will eventually take a toll on your social and academic work ethic. According to the Academy of Sleep Medicine, one of the main reasons that students have not been getting enough sleep is because many of them work part-time or full-time jobs for maybe some pocket money or to help pay for tuition. But this leads to them getting home late from work, going to sleep late, and getting up earlier, and that means less sleep. I think we can all agree, though, that the more sleep you get, the more beneficial it is to your health. Getting more sleep can lead to benefits like waking up for class on time, having more energy in class, having a healthier appetite, and being able to socialize and having the motivation to accomplish your tasks sooner rather than later. According to an article called Pharmacy Times, our brains use the time that we are sleeping to reorganize itself, rejuvenate, regenerate, and things of that nature when we are sleeping. And the less sleep that we're getting, the less time it has to repower itself. Think back to a time when you've been on your feet all day, you're dead tired, and your legs are heavy and they're sore. The natural thing to do is to sit or to rest and to let your legs just, feel good again. But your brain is a working muscle itself. And if you don't give it the time to reorganize and regenerate, then you will become more lazy and more unproductive than you were in the first place. More benefits of getting more sleep comes from healthier meal plans, sharper decision making, and a more positive, optimistic outlook on life. My group and I picked this topic to talk about because we think it's very relatable. I think we can all think back to a time when we have pushed assignments to the last minute, procrastinated to the point where we had no choice but to pull all-nighters or nearly pull all-nighters in order to finish assignments or study for tests and things of that nature. I think we can all agree that the only thing worse than staying up late to finish a task is the exhaustion that we feel the day after and days beyond that. But we're not here to talk about our past issues. We're here to discuss a solution for getting a lack of sleep. College students should be improving their sleep quality and quantity with better sleeping habits. My group mates will now explain to you in more depth why students don't get enough sleep, the benefits of sleeping more, and tips and advice to help you improve your sleeping habits. Now that I've introduced the problem and general reasons why students have such a lack of sleep, Ryan will now discuss with you negative ramifications that come with the lack of sleep.
So now that we've gone over the basic intro of what our topic is, I'll start to talk about why it's important that college students get enough sleep. So many college students don't actually get enough sleep, and that may lead to very bad things for their future. So you can see in our graph, which was our first question here, was how many hours, we asked the class, how many hours of sleep do you think is appropriate each night? And you can see that many people do agree that they should be getting around 8 hours of sleep, with 4 people think they should be getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep, 4 people thinking they should be getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep, 6 people thinking they should be getting 8 hours of sleep, and 1 person thinking they should be getting 11 hours of sleep. However, in practice, many people don't actually get 8 hours of sleep at night. So our second question was, how many hours of sleep do you consistently get at night? So you can see that only 25% of our class actually gets 8+ hours of sleep consistently, with 4 people getting 8 to 10 hours of sleep, 5 people getting 6 to 7 hours of sleep, 5 people getting 4 to 5 hours of sleep, 1 person getting 3 to 4 hours of sleep, and 1 person declining to state or doesn't know how many hours of sleep they get consistently. Well, you can see that many people, this may be a small sample size, but I'm sure that many people in this school don't actually get 8+ hours of sleep. Not getting enough sleep may have negative health effects and social life effects. A study done by S.P. Gilbert and C.C. Weaver, Gilbert being from Minnesota State University and Weaver being from Oklahoma State University, conducted a study to see if there was a correlation between the amount of sleep you get and GPA. So the people that they surveyed were around 557 undergraduate students in a psych class, and all these psych students were supposedly non-depressed. So what they figured out from this, from asking some questions, was that low sleep quantity and quality negatively affect your GPA. So that means if you really want to get a good grade in a class, you should try to sleep more, because they also state that sleeping increases memory, it inspires creativity, and it lowers stress. So when you're thinking about that test staying up all night, it might be better to try to get more sleep and try to sleep it off maybe and not think about it as much. Another, sleeping also has pretty bad health benefits if you don't get enough of it. So Diwakar Balachandran, who is the MD director of the Sleep Center at the University of Texas, stated that people who get colds and or infections are more likely to prolong the effects of that cold or infection if they don't get enough sleep at night. So that means, and nobody really likes being sick, right? So you should try to get more sleep if you have a cold, and because that way the cold won't last as long and it won't be as bad for you. Something else that he said was, if you're wondering why, if you got the flu shot that winter and you still might have gotten sick to an extent, Balachandran stated that people who don't sleep enough don't use the effects of shots as much as people who do sleep. So when you do get a flu shot or a shot, you should try to get enough sleep so that you can use the full effects of the shot and not waste your money. So something else that I noted was that a couple weeks ago, I tripped and fell and I cut myself. You can see here one of the scars. So then I noticed that on the first night, I only got 3 hours of sleep, and the next morning, the wound was still pretty bloody, and I still had to wash it off. And the next day, I got more hours. I got around 8 hours of sleep that next night, and I didn't have to wash as much blood off the next day. So one of the reasons for this is because there's a certain time in your sleep cycle where your body will heal more effectively than the other times of the day. However, that's an entirely different topic, and due to time restraints of the speech, I will not refrain from speaking more about that, because we have got to go over how to actually get more sleep at night with you.
If you have these sleeping issues that Ran mentioned above, I'll provide you some tips to help you to create a correct sleep pattern. You must heard the term body clock, or the body's biological clock, which is our body clock can be affected by light and darkness, which can make our body think it's time to wake up or to sleep. By controlling our body temperature, the balance of body fluids, and the other body functions, such as if you feel hunger. So if you want to create a correct sleep pattern, the first thing you need to do is set up a certain time that you need to wake up. According to the Neil Stanley from Stanford University, our bodies will be prepared about 1.5 hours before we actually wake up. Dr. Chadwell from Stanford Sleep Clinic. The biggest mistake of insomnia is staying in bed in the morning. Actually, 8 hours of sleep is enough for most people. In fact, oversleep in the morning can easily put out our body clock. Therefore, it is harder for us to sleep at night, resulting in a vicious circle. It is recommended that even if we stay up in very late in the night, we would better get up on time in the morning. If you still feel sleepy, we can take a nap during the lunch. And according to Colette Kusheta from Stanford Clinic's Research Center, a half-hour nap during a day can make up about 1 hour sleep during the night. After you wake up, you may still feel tired, and at this moment, I suggest you to excite your body senses, such as taste, hearing, smell, and touch. According to Focus magazine, some smelling salts